It's a new era for New York, and a new era for the man without fear. In the wake of Devil's reign, Daredevil is finally back to kicking butt and taking names. But it's only a matter of time until Matt has no choice but to leave New York City behind. Because of this, what new challenges will Matt Murdock face? And how will the Hand become involved? So yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten an issue of Daredevil, but hot damn on a stick, because we are back, folks. And not only are we back, but so too is the creative team from before. ChipZdarsky and Marco Tichetto have returned. And it's here where the issue essentially continues the tone and the path that Daredevil is taking following the aftermath of Devil's reign. Rather than staying in New York, Matt is closing up shop. He's getting his affairs in order before he leaves so that he and Elektra can take down the Hand once and for all. There's a lot to love in this issue. For starters, if you love ChipZdarsky's Daredevil, then this is 100% definitely for you. The book doesn't miss a beat with its story. It's sort of like hanging out again with your best friend whom you haven't seen all summer. And once the two of you are chilling again, you feel like nothing's changed. You're back to where you were before, being best friends for life. And that's exactly the vibe that the book here gives to its readers. And even if this is your first time checking out Zdarsky era of Daredevil, you will not be confused. Everything is explained in a way that doesn't come off like some giant exposition dump, and the writing is organic, and the telling of it is delivered through character interactions and awesome action scenes. Now, another thing when it comes to the book's narrative is that I'm very fascinated with the idea that the character of Robert Goldman, who was introduced in the previous Daredevil run by Zdarsky, is an actual guardian angel. I don't know why, but for some reason, there's something very sinister about that. And I'm so down to see how Zdarsky takes the themes of demon worshipping, like when it comes to the Hand, and when it comes to Christian beliefs. I feel like Zdarsky is going to have an amazing message regarding these two very, very different ideologies. When it comes to the book's art, again, Marco Tichetto is the boss. Similar to sinking right back into Chip's writing style, the same goes for the art. However, because the book is dealing with, more so with the mystical and magical side of Daredevil lore, with the Hand being involved and whatnot, the visuals are much darker, and a lot of it is unsettling, though it's done in the best way as possible. And with Matt Wilson on colors, the reds, oh my god, the reds. That color stands out the most, and it's just masterfully done. The theme of red and what the color of red symbolizes, I think will play heavy in the upcoming issues. So yeah, expect a ton of red. Overall, Daredevil issue number 1 was another fantastic issue from ChipZdarsky's team. It continues Matt and Elektra's stories while beginning new ones as well. And though Matt is leaving New York in his rear window, the change isn't abrupt or, all of a sudden. It's earned. Daredevil issue number 1 gets a sexy 9.5 out of 10. And so, our story begins with a mysterious individual who is simply walking the streets of New York. Now, through this man's internal monologuing, we can tell that he's feeling pretty troubled about life, because apparently he can tell when bad things are about to happen. Now, at first, you're not really supposed to think too hard on this. However, as the man is walking about and, doing his thing, people around this guy, bike riders, little kids, just random people, some of them are placed into danger, and bad things start to happen all around. Yet what the person highlights is the fact that though his head hurts because of everything that's happening, there's this bright light that has always been there. And that bright light is Matt Murdock. Now, sometime in the future, we have Matt with a big old bushy soldier boy beard. And here we see him in the shadows, being interrogated by an unknown force. And he's telling whoever he is that he's talking to that him and Elektra are doing some good work with the Fist, which is a splinter group that was able to separate itself from the Hand. With Matt and Elektra taking control of it, the two of them have been using the Fist in order to provide some good and bring in warriors who maybe aren't as intense as those among the Hand are. Now, we eventually switch back to the present, where Matt is pretending to be his dead brother Matt Murdock. And here he's having a conversation with Wilson Fisk's son, and the current Kingpin, that being Butch. Basically, Matt here is trying to mentally fuck with Butch, because before he leaves New York, Matt wants to make sure that Butch will behave himself. And so he tells him that, if you begin to hurt people or commit acts of violence, I will stop you. I will smash your face until you comply. And just to make sure that Butch gets the message, Matt puts on his Daredevil cowl and together with the help of Spider-Man, the two heroes mop the floor with Butch's goons, while at the same time scarring Butch mentally for life. Afterwards, Matt gives Spidey a going away present, revealing himself to be Matt Murdock. And because of that, we see in that moment that the effects from the Purple Man's children become undone, and all the old memories of Spider-Man and Daredevil have returned. And with that, both Daredevil and Spider-Man continue on with Matt's goodbye tour, as they continue to kick the crap out of New York's underworld, in order to relay the message to people like Butch and others like Hammerhead, bad guys who should behave themselves while Matt's gone. And in case they need a reminder, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man will be there just in case. Now, criminals aren't the only ones Matt needs to say goodbye to. One of these people who's on Matt's goodbye list is Daredevil's lawyer and Matt's ex-girlfriend, Kristen. Now, apparently Kristen is set to leave New York via a train, and so if Matt truly wants to say goodbye, he's got to head over to the station as fast as he can. However, while Matt is making his way over to Kristen, we pick back up with the mysterious individual from before. And once more, we see bad things start to happen. A random passerby who's late for work is shot in the chest by a disturbed man. But it's here where Matt is swinging by and, with being a superhero, he does the right thing by apprehending the shooter. Matt also tries to help the man who was shot, but sadly he ends up dying. And to make matters worse, because of this incident, it actually causes Matt to miss Kristen by a minute as her train takes off. But this is when Daredevil is met with a familiar person from his past. As it turns out, the mysterious person who's been walking throughout this issue is a guy by the name of Robert Goldman. And if you read the Daredevil series before this, you know he was the lawyer who attempted to try Daredevil for murder. He also attended Columbus University alongside Matt and Foggy, and he even knows Elektra as well. But more importantly, there is a reason why he's here, because Robert reveals himself to Matt that he's an actual angel, and not just any angel, but Matt's guardian angel. And the reason why he's intervening Matt from chasing the train is because the train that Kristen's aboard just straight up explodes, seemingly killing everyone aboard, including Kristen. Now, after that insane reveal and holy crap of a death scene, we switch forward to the future, where Daredevil is talking to whoever he is that he's talking to, and it's during their conversation that one of his more popular titles that he has is the Man Without Fear. But it turns out that that's a lie, because Matt does fear something, that being God. Now, our story isn't finished just yet, because with that we pick up with Elektra, while she's scouting out a brand new base for her and Matt to work out of in order to combat the Hand and wage their war. Oh, and fun fact, the area that Elektra chose is a tiny little island that no one has ever heard of, a little island between Russia and Japan. However, once Elektra lands at the spot, that's where she is met by her and Matt's mentor, that being Stick. Now, after Stick's condescending speech that he gives to Elektra, that's when all of a sudden a bunch of Russian soldiers begin to attack them. Now remember, ever since Elektra became Daredevil, she's actually adopted some superhero qualities, meaning that she doesn't murder people. But Stick is not about that life. And with that, though Elektra is able to subdue the soldiers, Stick ends up killing them. Now, while Stick and Elektra end up fighting each other over their differences in stopping the Hand, along with Elektra's more noble take on handling bad guys, she's eventually able to kick his ass. And from there, she tells Stick to get in line and behave himself, or I'll throw you in the sea. In other words, quit being a dick, because we have a world to save. And that, folks, was the end of Daredevil issue number 1. And thank you guys for checking out my video, as it truly means the world to me. And as always, I'm your majestic sayer of words, SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and so that you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 2? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace.